Ladies and gentlemen, success is not something you pursue. It's something you attract by the person you become. And who you become is determined by what you do daily. See, success doesn't show up overnight. It shows up when you show up consistently. It's built in the quiet hours, forged in the daily disciplines, the seemingly small choices that compound over time. The ultra successful know this. And they live it. Let me share with you 5 powerful daily habits that ultra successful people live by, and how you can begin your journey today. How you begin your day matters more than you may realize. The ultra successful don't stumble into their mornings. They don't roll out of bed and check their phones hoping the day will give them something good. No, they rise with purpose. They understand that the way you start determines the way you finish. And more importantly, they understand that the morning hours are some of the most valuable moments of the entire day. Success leaves clues, and one of the clearest is this. Successful people have morning routines that set the tone for their mindset, energy, and productivity. It's not about waking up early just to say you did. It's about getting up early to win the most valuable real estate on your calendar, the first hour of your day. That time belongs to you, not your job. Not your emails, not your notifications. You, when you wake up with purpose, you begin with intention. That means deciding, before the world decides for you, how you will think, how you will act, and how you will respond to the challenges that inevitably come. It's the difference between reacting and responding, and that difference can change the course of your entire life. You don't need a 3-hour morning routine. What you need is a habit of deliberate action. Maybe you read a few pages of a good book. Maybe you journal your goals and remind yourself why you started. Maybe you sit in silence and get in touch with your vision. Whatever it is, it's done on purpose. Not by accident. One of the most powerful things I ever learned was the habit of reviewing my goals first thing in the morning. I didn't wait for inspiration, I created it. I wrote them down, read them aloud, imagined the results. I lit the fire myself. And that's what the ultra successful do. They create their own motivation through consistent daily habits. They don't wait to feel good to do good. They do good and begin to feel good now. You might say, Jim, I'm not a morning person. Well, that's not a rule of nature, that's a habit. And the good news about habits is they can be changed. All change begins with a decision. Decide to take ownership of your mornings, and you'll be amazed at how different your days feel. Don't let the alarm clock dictate your attitude. Let your mission do that. Some people start their day by scrolling. Others start by complaining, but the ultra successful start with clarity. They have a reason to get up, a vision to live for, and they remind themselves of it daily. Because when you live with a sense of purpose, your energy changes, your focus sharpens, your presence deepens. There's something powerful about doing what matters before the world wakes up, before the distractions, before the noise. That quiet space is a gift, and if you use it well, it will multiply in value. You'll notice you're less reactive during the day, more patient, more confident, more in control. Why? Because you started your day in control. Let me tell you something. Success isn't found in one massive leap. It's built in small steps, repeated every day. The morning is your chance to take the first of those steps strong, certain, and in the direction of your dreams. So tomorrow, when the alarm clock rings, don't hit snooze on your goals. Don't delay your greatness. Rise, take a moment, breathe deeply, and remind yourself you have a reason, you have a mission. And it starts now, because when you start your day with purpose, you don't just change your morning, you change your life. Your mind is like a garden. What you plant and how you tend it will determine what grows: weeds or wisdom, fear or faith, doubt or discipline. And just as a garden needs daily watering and care, so too does the mind. The ultra successful understand this. They treat their minds as their greatest asset, because they know everything in their external world is first built in their internal world. What you put into your mind on a daily basis determines how you think, how you feel, how you decide, and ultimately how you live. The mind is a processor, not just a sponge. It doesn't simply absorb, it interprets. And if you feed it garbage, you will think in confusion. But if you feed it greatness, your thoughts begin to rise. One of the greatest lessons I ever learned is this: success is not something you pursue. It is something you attract by the person you become. And becoming that person begins with what you allow into your mind every day. The books you read, the podcasts you listen to, the conversations you engage in, they all become the material you use to build your life. The ultra-successful are constant learners. They don't graduate from education, they stay enrolled in the school of improvement. They read daily, they listen to ideas, they challenge their assumptions, they sharpen their perspective. They don't wait to be told what to think, they go out and seek truth, insight, and wisdom. They understand that you can't pour from an empty cup, and they make sure to fill theirs every single day. You don't need hours of study to change your thinking. You just need intention and consistency. Read 10 pages a day, that's over 600 pages a year. That's the equivalent of over a dozen books. One good idea could be worth thousands. One insight could change how you lead, how you love, how you live. It's not just about reading more. It's about reading better. Read the classics. Read the biographies of great people. Read books on your craft. Read scripture if it fuels your spirit, but read something that lifts you, something that challenges you, something that makes you think differently, act differently, live differently, and it's not limited to reading. The ultra-successful are also careful listeners. They know the power of a good audio program, a sharp mentor, or even a compelling podcast. While others are filling their ears with gossip, noise, or negativity, the ultra-successful are tuning into ideas that elevate them. They understand that the voices you listen to daily shape your belief system, and your belief system shapes your behavior. Now let me be clear. This doesn't mean you'll always feel motivated. There will be days you're tired, days where the world is loud, days where doubt creeps in. That's why feeding your mind must become a habit, a daily non-negotiable, like brushing your teeth or drinking water. Because when challenges come, and they always come, you need strength in your thinking to endure them. Protect your mind from garbage. That means turning off the endless news cycle if it breeds fear. It means distancing yourself from gossip if it breeds comparison. It means being selective with your inputs so that your outputs reflect growth. Because what goes in must come out. If you want to speak with wisdom, you must think with wisdom. And if you want to think with wisdom, you must feed the mind daily. There's a saying, empty pockets never held anyone back. Only empty minds and empty hearts can do that. You fill your heart through service. You fill your mind through study, so make it a practice. Even if it's just a few minutes a day. Even if it's one idea, one quote, one insight. Over time, those ideas will shape your outlook. Your outlook will shape your attitude. And your attitude, well, that will shape your destiny. Feed your mind. Because when the mind is full of good seed, the harvest of your life becomes rich with possibility. Discipline is the foundation upon which all success is built. Without it, even the best intentions crumble. With it, even modest efforts can lead to extraordinary results. The ultra-successful understand this. They don't rely on luck, talent, or inspiration alone. They rely on daily discipline. Discipline is the difference between a wish and a commitment, between dreaming and doing, between someday and today. Now, here's the truth. Discipline is not something you're born with. It's something you develop. Brick by brick, day by day, and it starts with the little things, the things no one sees. Waking up when you said you would. Finishing what you start. Saying no when it's easier to say yes. Discipline is forged in the quiet moments of decision, and those moments add up to a life of either regret or reward. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, No matter how small, you build integrity. Not just the kind the world sees, but the kind that matters most, self-integrity. That's the kind that shapes your self-respect. And when you respect yourself, you carry yourself differently. You act with confidence. You think with clarity. You move with purpose. The ultra-successful don't negotiate with excuses. They do what needs to be done, whether they feel like it or not. That's the power of discipline. It teaches you to do what is required, not what is convenient. You see, motivation is fleeting. One day it's here, the next it's gone. But discipline stays. Discipline shows up even when you're tired, even when you're uncertain, even when no one is watching. That's why I say discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. You can set all the goals you want. You can visualize, journal, plan, and talk about your dreams all day long. But until you add discipline, consistent, daily action, those goals remain on paper. Discipline turns desire into results. Let me tell you something else. Discipline compounds. One small act of discipline leads to another. You go to the gym, and suddenly you want to eat better. You make your bed, and suddenly you want to organize your schedule. You write 1 page, and suddenly you're writing 5. That's the secret. Discipline creates momentum, and momentum creates confidence. Before long, you become the kind of person who does what they say, not once in a while, but every day. But here's the catch: you have to start small. You don't climb a mountain in one leap. You climb it one step at a time. Pick one discipline, one small habit, commit to it daily, no matter how busy, no matter how distracted. And you watch that single discipline will begin to shape the rest of your life. You may be tempted to wait until you feel ready. Don't. Readiness is a myth. You won't feel ready to start the habit. You won't feel ready to say no to comfort. You won't feel ready to change your life, but do it anyway. Do it because your future depends on it. Do it because your goals are waiting on the other side of your excuses. The ultras successful know that freedom is not the absence of discipline, it is the result of it. The freedom to choose how you spend your time. The freedom to pursue what matters. The freedom to live without regret. But that kind of freedom is earned through consistent effort and personal responsibility. So ask yourself, what promise can I keep to myself today? Maybe it's a 10-minute walk. Maybe it's writing in your journal. Maybe it's finishing a task before you rest. Whatever it is, do it, not for the world, not for the applause, but for you, because each act of discipline is a deposit into the life you're building. And over time, those deposits turn into something priceless: character. And that, my friends, is the greatest reward of all: gratitude and action. Two of the most powerful forces in the human experience. One aligns your attitude, the other propels your life forward. The ultra-successful understand that success is not just about strategy and execution, it's about mindset and motion. And each day, they make a conscious decision to practice gratitude and take action, regardless of their circumstances or emotions. Let's start with gratitude. Gratitude is more than saying thank you. It's a way of seeing the world. It's choosing to focus on what's right, not just what's wrong. It's recognizing the good in your life, even when things feel hard. And here's the truth: gratitude doesn't come after success, it comes before it. Gratitude is the soil in which success grows. The ultras successful begin and end their day with a sense of appreciation, not because their lives are perfect, but because they've trained their minds to look for what's good. And when you start looking, you begin to see how much there really is to be grateful for: your health, your opportunities, your lessons, even your struggles. You begin to realize that every obstacle has something to teach you, and every setback is a setup for something greater. And when you're grateful, your energy changes. You become more present, more joyful, more resilient. Gratitude doesn't erase the challenges, it changes how you face them. It gives you strength on the inside to handle what's happening on the outside. And that inner strength becomes a foundation for bold action. Now let's talk about action, because gratitude without action is potential without progress. The ultra-successful don't wait for everything to be perfect before they move. They understand that clarity comes from engagement, not just contemplation. They don't wait to feel inspired. They act, and inspiration follows each day. They take steps, sometimes big, often small, that move them toward their goals. They make the call, they write the chapter, they launch the idea, they do something, because they know success is not a lightning strike, it's a rhythm. It's doing the right things consistently, even when you don't see immediate results and they don't always feel like it. That's key. Action is not always convenient. It doesn't always feel good in the moment, but it feels right later, because there's power in keeping momentum. When you move, you build belief. You build trust in yourself. You prove to your own mind that you are someone who follows through. One of the greatest misunderstandings is thinking you need to be motivated to take action. But that's backwards. Motivation comes after motion. When you act even imperfectly, you generate energy, and that energy creates more action. That's how you break procrastination. That's how you defeat fear. You move, you speak, you try, and then you adjust. Gratitude fuels that action with the right attitude. Without gratitude, action can become frantic, driven by fear or scarcity. But when you act from a grateful heart, you bring a different quality to your work. You bring patience, you bring kindness, you bring perspective. You're not acting out of desperation, you're acting from appreciation. And that changes the quality of everything you do every day. You have a choice. You can dwell on what's missing, or you can give thanks for what's present. You can wait for perfect conditions, or you can begin with what you have. The ultra-successful choose gratitude. They choose action. Not once in a while, but every single day. You don't need a dramatic breakthrough to start. You need a grateful heart and a willingness to move. Start with one step, write one line, make one connection, take one action that says, I'm serious about my life. Do it with thankfulness, do it with intention, and do it again tomorrow, because when you combine a grateful spirit with consistent action, you don't just change your results, you change your identity. You become the kind of person success can't help but follow, and there you have it. The daily habits that the ultra-successful live by, habits that can transform your life, one day at a time. It's not about waiting for the right moment or the perfect circumstances. It's about showing up consistently with purpose and passion, regardless of the challenges you face. So, let me leave you with this. Success is not a destination, it's a journey. A journey made up of small decisions, small actions, and small habits. But over time, these small habits compound into something incredible. They compound into the life you've always dreamed of. Start each day with purpose. Feed your mind with wisdom. Commit to your own discipline. Cultivate gratitude and take consistent action. When you do this, you're not just working towards success, you're becoming the kind of person that success will follow. Now, go out there and make today count. It's your life, it's your journey, and remember, the best is yet to come. Thank you.